politics now, the flag bearer of the NDC has taken a swipe at the Chief Justice in a quest to seek approval for some 5 judges to be elevated to the Supreme Court. Justice Gertrude Torkornoo had written to the President, Akufo-Addo, in her personal capacity to have 5 judges moved to serve on the Supreme Court panel. Even before the President will take action on the request that should come from the Judicial Council, John Dramani Mahama says the move by the Chief Justice is wrong.
The issue of judges, I believe that our Constitution gives the judiciary certain privileges. They are the only arm of government that does not renew its mandates. They don't go for elections to be re-elected as judges, and they're given security of tenure. I think that the obligation and responsibility of every president is to appoint fair-minded people. Human beings, as we are, would have our own inclinations towards one party or towards one religion or towards one culture or other. There are many things that make us who we are. And only recently, you've seen what happened. And I can't understand why the Chief Justice will be the one recommending which judges to appoint. The Constitution is clear. That is the President who appoints judges in consultation with the advice of the Judicial Council. And so the initiative to appoint judges must come from the President and submitted to the Judicial Council. It brings it back with advice to the President, and the President forwards it to Parliament. That is the procedure. It is very weird that this time the recommendation comes from the Chief Justice to the President. And even the issue of capping the number of judges. The Constitutional Review Committee recommended that we cap Supreme Court judges at 15. And so the issue of capping the Supreme Court is not for the Chief Justice to say. We will resurrect the Constitutional Review process when I become President. And when we do that, we will put it to the Ghanaian people whether we should retain the 15, whether we should reduce it, or whether we should increase it. And so I don't think that should be the Chief Justice saying that we should increase and cap at.
Meanwhile, John Dramani Mahama has stated his position on the supposed free SHS bill government intends to submit to Parliament.
Any bill that will improve our education, 1, to make it sustainable, 2, to afford quality education for our children. And so any bill that would achieve this is something that I'll support. I haven't seen the bill, and I don't think that it has been subjected yet to stakeholder consultation. But we would want to see the bill, and I'm sure that when Cabinet has approved it, it will be laid in Parliament. And when it's laid in Parliament, as a parliamentarian, the normal action is to refer it to the committee responsible. And I'm hoping that when that bill is referred to the committee responsible, it will do the proper stakeholder consultation so that we all can be on board. Because if you're making fundamental changes to our educational system, I think that parents, teachers, and everybody who has a stake in education must be in. In 2015, I launched Progressive Free SHS. That's what the Constitution says. The only difference between us and MPP is the approach. We thought that we should put the infrastructure in place and we should do the necessary preparation to absorb the free SHS. And so we started with day students. We made it free for day students. And in the second year, we absorbed 120,000 students on the free SHS. Nana Addo himself lauded me. It's there in the media. Just, if I had my phone here, I would Google it. It said Nana Addo lauds Mahama's free SHS. It's there. My position on free SHS is known. And so it's a political gimmick that is played by our opponents. Free SHS has come to stay.
I will stay on education now. Over 569,000 junior high school students are expected to take part in this year's Basic Education Certificate Examination, BECE, which starts today, July 8. This year's exam is a decrease of 5.29% as compared to the previous year, in 2023, a figure of over 600,000. About 282,648 male students and 286,447 females are taking part in the exams, with 19,506 schools participating. The students are being examined on the newly introduced Common Core curriculum, while private candidates would be examined on the old syllabus. The exam, which starts with English language, will end on Monday, July 15, with Arabic. Some BC candidates in Mepe in the North Tong constituency of the Volta region say they're emotionally traumatized less than 24 hours before sitting for their final exams. The candidates, who are still living in two separate camps months after the Akosombo Dam spillage at Dagombe, bemoan the challenges they face in studying during both day and night due to the conditions at the camps. Joseph Armstrong Godalobe spent the night at Dagombe Camp 1 and filed this report.
Monday's BEC will include some victims of the Akosombo spillage that are still living in camps. A day to the exams, we are here to find out how they are going about their preparation before the exams day.
It's 11 p.m. at the Dagombe Camp 1 in the North Tong municipality of the Volta region. This camp was established in the wake of the Akosombo Dam spillage. In the camp are some BEC candidates. Upon entering the camp, I met a group of students studying under a light fixture. I was alarmed at how frequently they were scratching and hitting themselves. I later realized it was due to mosquito bite after experiencing them myself. The students had no desk to study on, and they also lacked textbooks for their revision. According to them, they lost their textbooks during the Akosombo Dam spillage.
I'm not fully prepared for the examination because we are new batch going to write our BC, and our curriculum is different from the others' curriculum. So we don't have even past questions to revise on.
I am not fully prepared because I don't have light to learn. So when I start my learning during, let's say, 3 o'clock after school, when it's 7 or 8, then my lesson ends because there is no light in the things for me.
Later, I discovered there are more BEC candidates living in the camp who had chosen to study in their tents rather than endure the mosquito bites in the open. But there is a challenge.
In this tent, I'm told there is a BEC student in there, but we also know the tents do not have light. How is she learning? Is it a case that since after the spillage, this is how you've been learning?
Anytime I want to learn, I can only use my mom's phone to learn. Okay. So anytime the phone went off, I can't learn again. I don't have textbook to learn. We don't have lights here. My mom don't have money. If I want to go to school, it's a problem. The guys too, they are warriors because we don't have money. They will always give you 5 cedis, 10 cedis. They will be ready to have sex with you. That's our problem.
In the next tent, another candidate is studying.
Most times, when I was learning, I feel like my eye started paining me sometimes, but I manage it.
For those who prefer studying alone, being far from their friends forces them to move closer to the forest. We also learned that there are more BEC candidates in the Dagombe Camp 2 facing similar challenges. The camp leader, Sophia, informed the news team that the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, no longer visits to provide them with food and water.
NADMO has stopped supplying us food, and they are not helping us again. Honorable Okucheto Brako has paid the money, but they have brought some again, a bill to us again. It's 597.
She added that they continue to monitor the health condition of children in the camp.
The number of things they listed include they do not have pens, massets, drawing boards, and to some extent even ruler for them to use in the upcoming exams. Less than a day to the exams. Hopefully, during the day of the exams, some individuals will help them get some of these things they've listed that they do not have. Joseph Armstrong, Good Alego, TV3, Mepe.
Meanwhile, MP for Bolibamboy Yusuf Suleimana says a regional security meeting has been convened to discuss ways of dealing with recent killings. He says the Interior Minister and the National Security Minister have both been alerted about the strange murders in the region.
The incident happened. I put a call to the Minister of Interior and we have some discussion, and I intend to continue to engage him. He's called the regional minister. His suggestion is that there should be an immediate reset meeting, and then some other strategies will be brought on board. Right. We also agree that it's good to put some of this information, to handle this information quietly. Because the last time my position was that strategies that you want to use to arrest such criminals, you don't put it out there. And so I'm working hand in hand with them, and then want to see how best you can handle this issue.
Now, away from that, the ban on operations of 4 FM stations in Boko in the Upper East region by the National Communications Authority and the Regional Secretary or Security Council in February over security concerns has been lifted. Managers of the affected stations have meanwhile signed a memorandum of understanding to operate within the framework of ensuring peace.
The closure of the radio stations followed the recommendations of the Upper East Regional Security Council and the advice of the Ministry of the National Security that the operations had contributed to the escalation of the Boko conflict. The National Communications Authority (NCA) invoked its powers to shut down the stations in accordance with Section 13(1)(e) of the Electronic Communications Act 2008, Act 775. This section empowers the NCA to suspend or revoke licenses or frequency authorizations when such actions are deemed essential for national security or the public interest. After almost 5 months, the ban has been lifted. The managers of the affected stations signed a memorandum of understanding to operate within the framework of ensuring peace.
We really appreciate the regional coordinating directorate. I also appreciate Musa Kiaman, Honorable Amadou Hamza, and all the security apparatus, the military, the police, the fire service, the immigration, the BNI, all the security apparatus. We really appreciate you. We also like to thank all our media partners who stood in for us and all stakeholders.
We are really very grateful. If you look at where the 4 months that we have been off air, it has affected us economically. Revenue, we have lost revenue, and it hasn't been well with us. But at least we thank God that with the collaboration with RECSEC and MUSEC and other stakeholders, NCA have been collaborating, and we are very happy. On our side, we will make sure that we educate our listeners, we make sure that we talk to our staff so that we do what is expected of us.
I call on my colleague journalists within Boku and East Environ that they should put up a good journalistic behavior so that everyone will act and work professionally, so that we all will come together and put our contribution together.
The National Communications Authority (NCA) is set to release the seized broadcast equipment to the radio stations on Monday, June 8, 2024, for them to begin broadcasting.
Right here on your Election Command Center, as Ghana prepares for the December 7 general election, a former minority leader and member of parliament for Tamale South, Haruna Idrisu, is urging the youth to participate in the electoral process devoid of violence.
Speaking at the 2024 Young Professionals and Youth Coalition Transform Summit at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, the Tamale South lawmaker said sustaining the peace of the country should be a priority for all as we go into the elections.
Ghana is going into a crucial 2024 presidential and parliamentary election. As young people, dedicate yourself to exercise your civic constitutional duty in a manner that is responsible and in a manner that guarantees peace. Ghana is all we have. Therefore, all of you must dedicate a commitment to preserve the unity, the peace, and the tranquility of our country.
Haruna Iddrisu warned that recent disturbances in Kenya must serve as a wake-up call to Ghanaian leaders.
I don't want to encourage a Kenya example in Ghana, but the political elites, including me, must be guided by developments in Kenya not to take the aspirations of the Ghanaian people for granted and not to take the concerns and legitimate issues of the populace for granted. There are many parts of this country that are still looking for good roads. They don't have access to potable water. They don't have access to electricity. The educational facilities are not functioning the way they should do. That is what you elect us to do, whether as president or as members of parliament. That is what you require us to do.
The summit offers young people the opportunity to be mentored to be generational thinkers and transformational leaders.
Now, in other news, Group Chief Executive Officer for Media General, Beatrice Agyeman-Abbey, has been honored with the Female Africa Role Model Personality Award 2024 by Young Professionals and Youth Coalition. Here's a report.
The African Role Model Award recognizes professionals who have and continue to exhibit transformational leadership in their field of work. 15 Ghanaian personalities, including the Group CEO of Media General, Beatrice Agyeman, former President John Mahama, Tamale South MP, Haruna Iddrisu, Professor Elsie Kaufman, and musician Amirado, were honored for their exceptional leadership.
We look for leadership, and not just leadership, transformational leadership, in your professional level, your personal level, your academic level, your social level, and all these things are we put together.
Beatrice Agyeman was awarded the Female African Role Model Personality for 2024. Part of the citation reads, "You broke free from the shackles pinning down women aspiring to climb higher on the corporate ladder and etched your name in gold as the second female Group CEO of Media General, Ghana's most popular privately owned media stable." Manager for Akuma FM, a subsidiary of Media General, Faustina Derry, received the award on behalf of the Group CEO.
Madam has been an exceptional leader. She's been a role model to some of us and many young ladies out there. And this is just a deserving award. We say a very big thank you for recognizing the hard work of Madam Beatrice Agyeman.